13 people hurt in 2 mass shootings in Minneapolis homeless encampments on the same day. Mayor 𝗥𝗘𝗧𝗛𝗓, he says, not surprising. What's going on in Minneapolis? Let's get into it. Here we go. Some good videos on this. Let's take a look.
People who live in encampments into housing can be a challenge because many refuse to help. But help is available. Renee Cooper's been digging into what resources are out there, and she joins us live from Minneapolis with that part of the story. Renee?
Kevin, I'm told Hennepin County's Streets to Housing team has been at that encampment at least 3 times a week since July. Last year, the county poured more than $200 million into homelessness and housing services. A lot of that need right here in Minneapolis.
And you had 2 multiple shootings where a whole bunch of people got hurt. Clearly, whatever you're doing isn't working. You're just running around shooting each other. Yeah. It's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing because it's not surprising. That's the bottom line. It's not surprising that a bunch of whacked out nut jobs that are probably battling over drug money or whatever are running around shooting each other in, a blue utopian Minneapolis. 𝗥𝗘𝗧𝗛𝗓, it's not surprising. It's terrible. Gun violence is terrible. Let's take away all the guns, even though you know damn well whomever did these shootings in these homeless encampments, they didn't have a legal right to a gun. They probably have felony convictions. They probably have zero business with guns. And when you outlaw guns, only outlaws will have guns, right? I mean, it's so true. So true. Let's keep going with whatever her name is here.
Are there enough shelter beds?
Love this.
So it's a more complicated question than I'd like. For families, we work for no child to sleep outside. So we really are able to flex capacity as needed on the family side of things. On the single side of things, we really work to bring beds online to meet demand, but we aren't able to every single day always meet demand.
Long story short, no. And this isn't just a Minneapolis problem. This is a problem throughout the United States because between 1955 and 2016, we eliminated 95% of our mental institutions. We just dumped everybody out onto the streets. It should be fine. We didn't want that whole one flew over the cuckoo's nest to happen anymore because you know how that went. Not good. And so you just closed all these institutions down, and now you got all these people living in these encampments doing drugs and shooting each other, apparently. Just shooting each other. Hey. Let's play cowboys and Indians, and you're it. And I'm going to take out my Glock and shoot you. And that's my stolen Glock, and I'm going to shoot you. That's what happens. Wild stuff.
Weather on the horizon. Housing Stability Senior Administrator
looks good.
Says the county has a plan in the works.
So the problem with this here is that this is a private site, right? This is a private site because if it was public, they just go in there and sweep it. But this is a private site, and that's what we're talking about. A private site that some knucklehead, some absolute shenanigan-laden knucklehead thinks, well, I'm helping the homeless by allowing them to squat on my lot. And now, 2 shootings. Bunch of people shot. How much are you helping? Ugh, not a lot.
A $1.7 million contract to open about 150 more shelter beds in November.
The focus was to increase bed capacity and bring beds online that people want and will say yes to, and that we'll be able to get more people inside this winter.
Notice how she says beds that people want to get into instead of the big congregate shelters, which is, imagine a big auditorium filled with cots. I mean, I get it. But if you're outdoors in Minneapolis in the winter, brutal environment. Is it worse than North Dakota? I don't know, right? I mean, what are those? North Dakota's just been on the radar because been, talking about it a little bit. Cheap gas prices. I'm sure Minneapolis has cheap gas prices as well. But if you are homeless and you are outdoors in Minneapolis in the winter, you're probably going to take whatever you can get. But there's this whole notion that people are just accepting housing, and they're not, because a lot of them want to stay in these encampments because they can do their drugs, wild abandon. There are no repercussions for their actions. And when they want to, they can just run around and shoot each other. Hence today's podcast.
Hopefully than even last winter.
Werder says part of keeping those shelter beds open is moving people into permanent affordable housing. It's been a focus for the county. Between 2020 and 2022, work began to convert 6 motels into that housing, including the old Aqua City motel. Today, Werder says
this is housing first, and housing first does not work. You get a bunch of whacked out, homeless drug addicts that are criminals, put them in housing. Guess what? Now you've created a ghetto in that hotel that you bought with taxpayers' dollars. Housing first. It does not work. You got to get these people into treatment, because otherwise you make these concentrated areas of crime, squalor and crime. Pretty simple stuff.
They're all full. She also tells me the county has been housing about 300 people a month this year. That's 100 more each month than in 2024.
And that is nothing.
96% of people who are housed stay housed.
So it's really being able to listen to that person and try and figure out housing that will be sustainable. And we do everything we can to get them to that place.
Then there was also another shooting earlier yesterday before this one at an encampment just 2 miles away from here that injured 5 people, and one of them is fighting for their life. Today, we were told no arrests have been made yet. Chief O'Hara, though, told me he can't rule out the scenes aren't connected. I did ask the mayor about 𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗪's claims the city was not working with him, something the mayor strongly disagreed with. Mayor Frank, Mr. 𝗪𝗧𝗪 says the reason he's doing this is because the city hasn't done enough to help these people. Your reaction to that? And also, he says you've never agreed to meet with him in person.
I guess I didn't realize that we had a meeting request from Mr. 𝗪𝗪𝗪. But that being said, we've had an administration that has been engaging on a very regular basis with Mr. 𝗪𝗪𝗪.
Mayor, because it is private property, will the city go after 𝗪𝗪𝗪 to recoup the cost, the taxpayer dollars of this effort today?
Yes, we have been charging Mr. 𝗪𝗪𝗪 for the additional work that has been conducted. Again.
And how many people were shot? How many people are on life support right now? How many? Like 3 and 1 in the other encampment? Like 4 people are near death. Maybe a couple of them will die. Maybe all 4 of them will die. But you're doing what again? You're assessing fines? Okay. All right. How's that working out? How's that working out there, Jacob Fry? Not that great, because I'm doing a podcast on it.
We tried to close it once. We were not able. We couldn't.
Go in there and clean it out. Just go in there and clean it out. You can do it. I believe in you. I believe in you. Shenanigans, no shenanigans. Just go in there, police force, boop, done. Problem is, it's private property, right? So you got to go through all this nonsense. Just nonsense. And that's where the legal system breaks down. You got to be able to do a sweep to, ensure public safety. And clearly, public safety is not going on if you have how many people get shot? 7 and 1 and 5 and another, 12 total? I mean, those are Chicago numbers right there. This Minneapolis is rivaling Chicago. I mean, for a split second, Minneapolis is probably ahead.
Do it safely. We tried to go in a second time to do some substantial cleaning, given the health concerns, and we were not able to do it in full. We will see him in court.
And the city told me to date they have
12 people shot, 4 people on life support. We'll see you in court. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. see where we're going with this. You got it. All right.
At least $50,000 so far on this encampment, cleaning it up and keeping it secure. And again, 𝗪𝗡 will be asked to pay city taxpayers back for that. And one other point, Mayor Fry told me today that the people who hang out at this encampment, well, many of them do have homes to go to, and they don't all live here. The city believes about 70 people had been using the encampment as a site a place to use drugs and party. But this morning when they showed up after the mass shooting, there were about 30 people here, and they offered all of them services, including housing, and just one of them accepted the help.
All right, let's talk about that for a second. So the misnomer is that the homeless encampments are all people living there. And oftentimes all of those people, or a good percentage of those people, have housing elsewhere. You hear them interviewed day in and day out. No, I've got housing here, but I just like to come down here and score drugs. I just like to come down here and, bang some chicks because I can. And there's chicks here who will accept drugs for, sexual favors. I just like to come down here and, just get really high. I got housing. I'm all set. I just come down here for the drugs and recreation. Okay. And then those who are actually homeless, there's 30 of them. Guy just said there's 30. How many accepted offer of housing? One? That tells you everything you need to know. They're not desperate. They're living the life that they want to live. 1 out of 30, Minneapolis, accepts housing. And when they say accept housing, that means something as simple as they get put up for a night in a hotel. One night. Could be as simple as that. They accepted it. It doesn't mean they went. It just means we can check that box. Accepted. One accepted. The other 30, they're like, F it. I want to keep doing drugs. I'll move my crap down the street and I'll just set up down there. And that's what happens over and over and over and over, because it's whack-a-mole. You don't have the ability to actually put people where they need to go, nor do they want to go there in the first place, as evidenced by 𝗪𝗏𝗧𝗛 here. I've not seen him before, but also I haven't covered much in Minneapolis. The whole Minneapolis thing happened before I started covering a lot of this.
Team coverage continues now with 𝗪𝗏𝗧𝗛𝗏, who spoke with the property owner, Mr. 𝗪𝗏, about why he wants the encampment on his property in the first place. 𝗪𝗏𝗧𝗛𝗏 joins us live from HCMC.
Yeah, Kevin, as you mentioned, we are outside of HCMC. This is where several of those patients were rushed to, and where we talked to that property owner, 𝗪𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏, and he says that his main intention was just to help people in need.
That don't want housing, that want to do drugs. Okay. Now the reality is there, right? That is some nonsense. That is some misguided progressive nonsense. That's what the property owner has going on. He just wants to help people. I mean, dude, you are literally providing a crime center that's on private property. That's what you've done. That's what you've done. You can't argue your way out of that. And now you've got shootings. I hope somebody sues you. I mean, just absolutely sues your ass, because that's what you deserve for doing this. It's misguided. It's misguided compassion.
This lot off East Lake Street has been home for dozens of unsheltered people for the past few months.
This is our reality, the homeless. And if you've never been there, shut up. Stop judging.
Monday night's mass shooting here would hurt 7 people.
What I heard is there's some people in the emergency room, a few people. I'm not sure how many.
𝗪𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 owns the property the encampment is on. He says his first reaction was to rush to Hennepin County Medical Center.
So I'm here to make sure these people have a place to be taken care of, because they've been shot, so they need some home care.
Last week, City Council voted to sue 𝗪𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗏 for the encampment. He was also cited for health violations there. The city says fines are around $20,000.
But what would you say to people that feel as though you have some responsibility for this shooting that happened?
The shooting is happening everywhere. The shooting.
Big city crime. This is a limousine liberal, folks, and that is their ideology. Crime happens everywhere. No, it doesn't. You don't have shootings in a homeless encampment happening in Oklahoma City. You just don't. Period. You don't even have that going on in Seattle like this. I mean, this is an aberration. This is out of control. When you allow it to get out of control in these kind of guarded environments, look what happens. Look what happens. People just get to that point where they're like, nope, F it. And they haven't caught him, nor will they probably catch him. Those guys are, boom, gone, right?
There's no shooting. There's shooting everywhere.
But
No.
Spoke to him.
No.
The city was clearing out the encampment at a price they say cost around $50,000.
That's cheap.
What are they going to do? Okay, let's go clear the encampment. Let's just say where are they going to go?
Something.
How much you think that dude's sunglasses are? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A neighbor wonders as well.
They wasn't bothering nobody.
Who didn't mind them.
Other than the drugs and the sex trafficking and the shootings and the garbage and the buying and selling of stolen goods, yeah, they weren't hurting anybody. But I hear what you're saying. No, it's just absolute nonsense. It's covering up for people who don't want to live within society's rules. And they want to be basically paid to do their drugs, do their thing, do their lifestyle. And it's all good. It's all good. Just let them do their thing, right? Just let them do their thing. Because, they weren't hurting anybody other than how many people are in the hospital? I forget.
Next to her home.
You can get 8 people shot on a bus stop. Because it's an encampment, you take everybody's stuff, snatch it from them, and tell them you have nothing. They already have nothing. They can't get no more than that.
Like this mom.
So that makes it okay to shoot people. Is that where we're going with that logic? They don't have anything. You can't take anything from them. So it's okay to shoot them. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a different take than I would have. But again, free speech, you're entitled to say what you want. It's completely misguided and it's completely wrong. And it's a mindset that you've been, altered with because that's the environment that you see. That's the reality that you see. It's okay to shoot people because shootings are happening everywhere. It's all right. It's okay. They're not happening everywhere. That's the thing. And they're especially not happening in homeless encampments because I'd be reporting on it 24/7. Anywho, let's keep going.
The property owner says despite the city's actions, he wants those people to be able to go back onto his land.
If you are struggling to pay your...
That guy is just straight up retarded, isn't he? I mean, what a numbskull. What an absolute numbnut.
Tonight at the site of that now former encampment in the parking lot behind me. We're real close to 28th and Lake Street. This is where 7 people were shot last night. And today, police came in and cleared it out. The city did, and officers are parked in there. The crime scene tape is up, and they don't want anybody coming back here tonight. We are bringing you special team coverage. 𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗪 spoke with the property owner who's been fighting with the city to save the encampment and help the people he says live here.
That's right. And we're also getting our Renee Cooper, who is getting answers on how the city and county have a solution, Kevin, to the homeless situation after millions of dollars have been spent to solve it.
Yeah, but first, Lindsay, I had a chance today to ask Mayor Jacob Frey some questions. The parking lot's taped off behind me, and the mayor says people will not be allowed to return here tonight until they can ask for a temporary restraining order.
That's a good thing.
To put a fence around this parking lot. And I'm told 3.
All you're doing is masking the problem. Hey, we're going to put a fence up because those people that shot each other, they went down the street 1 block. They moved down the street 1 block and set their tents up there. That's what they did. That's what happens in these big blue liberal utopia cities. There's zero containment because you've got an out of control situation. You don't have enough beds. You don't have enough psychiatric help. You're not involuntarily putting people into treatment. So you got a bunch of whacked out homeless nut jobs that are now running around shooting each other. Perfect. That is awesome. Awesome possum. No, it's terrible. It's terrible. These people have mental issues. They have addiction issues. And what we're doing is, yeah, it's okay to just go ahead and live in that guy's lot over there. I'm sure it's zoned for homelessness. You know what I mean? Do you think that might be a little bit of a code violation? The 1,800 tents on that 1/2 acre parcel? And the city can't figure out a way to clear that without a court order? I'm sorry. If there's criminal activity going on, which you could probably prove in a heartbeat, clear that bad boy out. But no, that's not what we're doing in big blue liberal cities, progressive cities, because that's not progress. Actually shutting down the criminal behavior is not progress because, justice reform. It's wild. I mean, it's absolutely wild. City seeks restraining order to take control of property. Just go in there and clear it out. Clear the damn thing out. It's not that hard. You see cops do it all the time. They just go in and it's really not that hard. When the will is there, it can be done like that. Shenanigans, no shenanigans. It just happens. We've seen that time and time and time again. 𝗨𝗏𝗪 in Seattle was a prime example of that. When the city needed to close that down after 2 young black men were murdered, they were murdered on the 𝗨𝗏𝗪 site. And then the mayor's like, oh, good Lord, this isn't a good look. We got to do something here. Then they send the cops in and it's just game over. Done. It's like that. But no, we got to wait until somebody loses their lives. 2 black kids at a Black Lives Matter /Antifa takeover. What? Doing what? Yeah, we're doing that.
Of the 7 people hurt in the shooting here, around 10 last night, have life-threatening injuries right now.
Give a quick review to the article here. Then I've got one more to show you in LA. At least 13 people have been wounded, 5 critically. Oh, 5 critically. It's been updated. Well, in 2 shootings that erupted over a span of 12 hours at homeless encampments in Minneapolis. Guaranteed those are related. Somebody didn't pay somebody and somebody took out their gun and started shooting. That's how you solve those issues. I mean, that's what we learned in Scarface, didn't we? Yeah. Shootings on Monday marked the 4th and 5th mass shootings to occur in Minneapolis. Doesn't Minneapolis have some pretty strict gun control? I think it does. Most of these big liberal cities do that have the worst gun violence. That gun just jumps up, loads itself, and pulls the trigger. People don't do that, do they? Oh, yeah. In the past 3 weeks, including one on August 27th at Annunciation Catholic School that left 2 children dead and 21 people injured. That's a whole nother story, isn't it? Kind of like the Charlie Kirk deal. That shooter just living with a guy that's transitioning to a woman. I mean, just goes down that rabbit hole of crazy Trantifa. And then he comes from a family of Republicans in Utah. It shows you how quickly the far left can radicalize somebody into thinking, hey, murdering somebody that wants to have conversations is something that should be considered and to actually do. Absolutely mind-blowing. But then again, if you've been following those storylines, it's really not that shocking. We see the far left. I see the far left all the time with their words of violence. It doesn't always end up in violence. But even here in Seattle, we had a couple of reporters get, assaulted. You look at what's going on down in Portland, what Trump talks about, Portland being a hellhole. What he's talking about is Antifa and Trantifa going after the feds in their own Fed building, trying to get cars in and out. And there's just extreme levels of violence. That happens because that is what the far left is into. They believe that that violence justifies their actions. Antifa comes right out and says that, and they defend it. So then we're surprised when somebody gets worked up that Charlie Kirk talks about, transgender people and that he doesn't believe that that's, a thing according to his religion, which is protected by freedom of speech. Something that they claim that anybody who doesn't do that is fascist, is fascism. It's like, who's the fascist here? You just killed somebody for voicing their opinion. Yeah. Anyway, this is tragic. It's horrible. It's unacceptable. And sadly, it's not surprising, Mayor 𝗥𝗘𝗧𝗛𝗏 said at a news conference early Tuesday. I think he's hinting at the gun violence aspect of it. But to me, the fact that you let a whole bunch of people run around on a single lot that's on private property and police and authorities can't really do anything, and then people get shot from that, that is what is not surprising, right? Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara said the city's latest mass shooting unfolded Monday night at a notorious homeless encampment in southeast Minneapolis. 8 people were shot and estimated 30 shots were fired. Now, they didn't have one of those Glocks that had been adjusted, right? That had been that trigger switch in there that just allows it to go automatic. All right, so that's what happened there. Here's another one that I've covered? That is not even a word. Sprawling LA homeless encampment has tennis court, garden, and barbecue pit. I mean, we got to check that out for just a second, right? Yeah. Let's just watch just a few minutes of this.
Lot in Koreatown is now the subject of a 7 on Your Side investigation.
The empty space on South Manhattan Place is nestled near apartment complexes,
private lot
buildings between 7th and 8th Streets. A number of people are calling this home now, and neighbors say they've transformed it into a mini city. Our investigative reporter, Kevin Osbeck, spoke with some of those neighbors about what they are concerned about, and I'm sure there's plenty. Kevin.
Yeah, plenty is right, Mark and Giovanna. A Koreatown condo owner reached out to 7 on Your Side investigates out of pure frustration. The view from his unit is now a homeless encampment, and despite complaining, he didn't see the city taking much action. Why did you reach out to 7 on Your Side?
Because, I've seen this grow and become unsafe, more and more unsafe.
Syngman Lee has had it, and you probably would too if this is what you saw from the unit you own. This encampment has popped up in a vacant lot right on a residential street in LA's Koreatown. It even has a
all old tents
court in it.
It's a whole community, right? There's a tennis court. There's a garden where they're growing stuff. There's a barbecue pit.
And he's far from the only one upset about people putting up tents and moving in.
I've had people follow me or just try to talk to me. It's just not very safe anymore.
They come and take packages and stuff. The reason why people are sleeping here is because you leaders are sleeping on not taking initiative and action to clean this place up.
And yet you voted for those leaders. So what are you going to do now? What are you going to do now? You going to put in some Republicans that are going to tough on crime, tough on the homeless? I don't think so. No, it's just not what you're doing, right? That's who you're hiring. You're hiring people that have allowed this situation to occur, and now you're stuck with it because these folks can't really go anywhere. There's not enough resources for them to really go anywhere. So now this is a situation that you've got. Build it and they will come. California is #1 in the homeless industrial complex. And so now you've got them all there. This is on private property again, and you see what difficulty the city has doing anything.
Residents at this encampment have broken to this streetlight, shoved a surge protector into it, and are running power across the street and into the camp.
Thank God it hasn't rained in a while. It's a fire hazard, right? And then they run the cable across the street, and it's a trip hazard for everyone.
Syngman has complained to 311, but says he's only seen this in...
I mean, you can see I covered this in a full podcast. You can check that out. But again, it's the same old story. It's you got a bunch of homeless people doing whatever they want. The city, because it's on private property, claims they can't do much. They got to wait for something, otherwise they'll get sued. And so you've just got the blind leading the blind on these deals. And then a shooting occurs and people are like, hey, what happened? Got a shooting. This is terrible. And you're like, I didn't see that one coming. Didn't see that one coming from a million miles away. Just there it is. Homeless encampment. Wonder how this will work. Wonder how this will go down. Think there might be any shenanigans? Yeah. To watch this stuff unfold in real time. And you know what's so sad about this? This is not going to get better because you don't have the resources to really fix it, nor do you have the political will to really do something about it, which is moving people off the streets into more permanent situations where they get the health care they need, the mental health care, the detox, the addiction services. They don't want any of that. We saw that. 30 of them in a camp, doing drugs, doing whatever. One is like, yeah, I'll take one night. The rest, no thanks, pass, hard pass. And that's how you end up with these scenarios. You got a million people living in a small mini city, doing drugs, all the craziness that the homeless encampments entail, and city officials are, our hands are tied. All right. That's it for me on this one. Thanks so much for being here. Love to have you subscribe, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.